Sophia, I need your help.
Momo, what's wrong? You look like you've been crying.
I just got off the phone with Sayaka. You remember her, right?
Of course, she's Chiba-san's granddaughter. Oh no.
He's gone. Went peacefully in his sleep last night.
I'm so sorry.
It's all right. I knew he wouldn't have much longer, but
It still hurts, of course. How can I help?
well, I'm going back for his funeral. I just didn't want to go alone.
Yes, absolutely. We can leave whenever you're ready. I'll let Dallas know so no one is worried. Are you all right? Your flight path is a little clumsy.
Sorry, I'm fine. Just emotionally compromised, I guess.
We can take a commercial flight if you'd like.
No, I can make this trip. Don't worry. Wait, is that Chloe?
I think so, yes. What's she doing out here?
Hey, ladies! You heading my way?
It would seem so. Where are you going, Chloe?
Japan, actually. A pen pal of mine just lost her pilot from the war. She actually called me on the phone, which she'd never done until now. Asked me to come lend some moral support since she doesn't have hardly any family left.
That's a strange coincidence. We're going there too. Momo, well,
I lost my pilot as well.
Really? Huh. Well, I don't know the pilot's name. Did he live in Tokyo?
Yes, as a matter of fact.
An even stranger coincidence.
well, Chiba-san did pilot other planes after you. Maybe you have a surviving cousin?
If that were the case, why didn't he tell me?
Hard to say.
It could be a different pilot, too. I wish I could tell you more, but I honestly don't know too much.
Either way, we'll find out once we get there. Will you fly with us?
Of course, if you don't mind.
You're always welcome on our wing, Chloe.
Just got off the phone with my friend. She gave me the address for the funeral. Wrote it down. Here.
It's the same.
So, this is another one of Chiba-san's planes.
I don't understand. Why wouldn't he tell me I still had a family member who was conscious enough to speak?
I can confirm she's a Ki 84 Hayate, so she'd be your cousin. I told her about you and she said she expected you would show up and that she'd be happy to answer any questions you have in person.
A Hayate. I didn't know there were any surviving members of that type.
She is the last of her kind.
I see. I didn't meet any during the war. They showed up late to the conflict. Still weird that he didn't say anything. Well, no point in standing around theorizing. Let's just go.
Before we go, is there anything we should be aware of?
What do you mean?
Well, I've never been to a Japanese funeral before.
Yeah, me neither. I would have asked my friend, but she was crying on the phone and it didn't seem like good timing.
Right. Well, a Shinto funeral has a lot of traditional steps, but I'm not sure exactly how Chiba-san's family is going to set things up. Some people have unique customs within the family or region, but generally, it's not so different from Western funerals in terms of the quiet mourning element. So just be polite and respectful as you would be at any other funeral, and you should have no issues. If there is something specific happening that requires you to stand or whatever, I'll clue you guys in.
Got it.
Thanks. Let's go then. Don't want to be late.
Not a massive amount of people.
I'm sure invitations were limited to family and very close friends. Look, there's Sayaka.
She already sees us.
Momo, thank you so much for coming. And Sophia, you came too.
I asked her to join me for the flight. I hope you don't mind.
Oh no, not at all. I'm sure Grandpa would be honored by your attendance.
I am glad to join your family in honoring him.
I'm sorry, is this also a friend of yours, Momo?
Oh, I'm so sorry. I guess my friend didn't mention she asked me to come. I'm just here to support a pen pal of mine. Her name is Haruka.
Ah, I see. Sorry, I completely forgot in all the planning for the funeral. Haruka mentioned she'd asked an American friend to come. She's over by the cherry blossoms. Excuse me, I still have some preparations to make. Thank you again for coming.
Haruka, that you?
Chloe? Oh, I can scarcely believe you're here. I'm so happy you came all this way just to support me.
It's no trouble. We've been writing back and forth for what? 20, 30 years now?
Something like that. And you must be Momo. I've heard much about you.
But I've not heard anything of you, Haruka-san.
It's just Haruka. No need to be so formal with me, cousin. And please do not blame Chiba-san for that. I asked him, begged in fact, not to tell you about me.
But why? We've so little family left.
It's nothing to do with you. Everything to do with me. I am the last of the Hayate type. After Chiba-san had to leave you behind at Saipan, he was sent to an airbase in the Philippines where he became my pilot. I probably don't need to tell you what a good man he was, though he talked a lot about you. I'm sure you're all aware of how the Philippines went for us. Like everywhere else, we were inevitably forced out. As the Americans approached, I told Chiba-san to run instead of trying to save me. He didn't want to leave another friend behind, but when I refused to start, I gave him no choice.
Wait, you defied your pilot?
It's highly taboo for us, I know, but I did, and he lived. I expected to die as the Americans approached, but when it came time to fight, I didn't. I gave up. I was instead captured and sent back to the US for testing. Found my way to a Canadian museum, and then sent back here to Japan in 1973. Been here ever since.
So because you defied Chiba-san, you're ashamed?
The truth is I was scared. I knew if he took me up right, then we'd be targeted and shot down. It was a cowardly act. My defiance forced him to retreat on the ground, and he was able to get out on a ship instead.
I've told you countless times that it wasn't cowardice. You saved the man's life, Haruka.
Surrender is tantamount to betrayal for us, and that's basically what I did.
Oh, for the love of everything, shut the hell up.
Whoa!
Excuse me?
And what did Chiba-san think of you? I assume you met him later in life?
Yes. He found me almost as soon as I returned to Japan. I apologized for denying him his right to give his life for our country, and he just laughed. He told me I shouldn't feel that way at all, that he appreciated me for what I did for him. I thought he was just trying to make me feel better since he was a kind man. When he found out you were still alive, he came and told me straight away, but I begged him to keep me a secret from you because I knew my family would disown me if they knew I had surrendered rather than fight.
That's absurd, Haruka. So many of our people's lives were thrown away in a fruitless effort to retain our honor. You have nothing to be ashamed of.
That's what Chiba-san said.
And he was right. I was captured too, remember? And I have no shame from it.
Wait, did you surrender?
Okay, so maybe the Marines had to beat the tar out of me to get me to comply, but that's not the point. I'm lucky they didn't just kill me, because if they had, my sacrifice wouldn't have mattered. It would have changed nothing. Haruka, at least you can say you saved someone's life. I can't. And I assure you, I don't judge you for it. Heck, I'm just happy I still have family I can talk to. Since the war, all I've had is Oka.
Oh, one of the Oka family lived. Are they still
Insane.
Yes, absolutely.
figures? Well, I'm surprised honestly, but I suppose this just makes it easier to keep my promise to Chiba-san.
Promise?
He knew you wanted a familial connection. When he swore he wouldn't tell you about me in return, I had to promise that when he died, I would reach out. I said I would, so here I am.
Here you are. Well, I am happy to finally have family again.
As am I. I'm so grateful for your kindness. You're just as Chiba-san said you were. Now that we've gotten that out of the way, I was wondering if you wanted to help me with something.
Sure, what is it?
I was hoping you would assist me in a Kagura performance for Chiba-san. His final wish is that his life, all of it, would be remembered as a lesson for future generations. You know our country is not the greatest with honoring our military's past.
Well, I'm willing, but I've only ever performed Kagura once.
Good enough. I've already cleared it with the priest and Chiba-san's family. We've an hour before they get started. I'm certain I could teach you the whole thing in that time.
If you're sure, then yes, of course I will.
You've mentioned it before. It's a sort of religious dance, right?
Sometimes it varies a bit, but it has its roots in Shinto.
I'll let Sayaka know to keep an eye on you two so you won't get confused during the ceremony. Chloe and... Actually, I'm so sorry. I didn't catch your name.
I'm Sophia, Momo's friend.
Spitfire family, right? Glad to meet you. All right, Momo, follow me. I've got an outfit for you. Hope it fits.
Yeah, me too.
So I don't mean to be a pain, but what is Kagura exactly?
To put it simply, it's a ceremonial dance rooted in Shinto. It has many purposes in the modern day, but one is to tell folk stories or historical ones. The dance has two major types, Mai and Odori. Mai is slow and circular, and Odori is fast with jumping and leaping. The purpose is for the dancer or dancers to commune with the gods. In some, they obtain an oracle from the gods and are a conduit for messages and blessings from the divine, but in this context it honors the gods and ensures the safe passage of the departed soul to the afterlife. Not every funeral has it, but when Haruka mentioned it to me, I knew my grandfather would love the idea.
So the dance will tell a story?
Yes, the story of my grandfather's life. Oh, they're starting.
Momo looks so sad.
This part is about the beginning of the war. My grandfather lost a lot of friends early on, and it only got worse from there.
Haruka's movements look almost...
Like she's flying. It must be representing him being a fighter pilot.
That's right.
They both look even sadder now. They're crying.
the end of the war, seeing our country devastated.
And now they're getting happier, faster, more upbeat.
The Adori part is starting. This is where my grandfather built his life again and met my grandmother.
Do we clap?
I'm gonna vote no.
Not for a religious ceremony. Polite silence is the best compliment we can give to that sort of performance.
In that case, we'll shut up.
You did beautifully, Momo and Haruka. My grandfather would be so happy.
I messed up in a few spots.
You followed through, though. I don't think anyone noticed.
We didn't.
Not at all. You did great.
I'm just glad I was able to be a part of this.
I thank you, Momo. You honor my family.
Oh, speaking of, I almost forgot. Here.
What is... Oh, thank you. I'll go put it with the rest.
Momo, what was that bag?
It's called a fukusa. It contains envelopes of money called koden. It's a traditional offering for funerals.
What? But I didn't.
Yeah, I made up an envelope for you.
I wasn't told about this either.
Don't worry. I took care of you too, Chloe. I figured you wouldn't know about it.
Sorry.
No worries. Momo, when this is over, would you like to chat some more? I'd love to exchange numbers so we can stay in touch.
Of course, Haruka, though I am curious, how did you meet Chloe? Did you even know we were at the same museum?
I wrote to Chloe years ago after I was sent back to Japan. Well, scratch that, I just wrote to a random museum. I had grown accustomed to Western life and missed a lot of the people I met. Wanted to have a connection, though I had no idea it would be a corsair until years into writing.
For my part, I was curious about how the people we fought were really doing. I haven't left the museum in a long time. The letter wound up in my hands, and I decided to answer. Turned out Haruka and I became fast friends, but I had no clue about her connection to you until today.
I only realized you were at Chloe's museum when Chiba-san told me about you, Momo. But as you know, I didn't want you to know about me, so I didn't say anything. I am sorry. It seems so dumb in retrospect.
It's all right. Let's just finish honoring Chiba-san and we can talk more later.
Sounds good to me.
Well, I suppose we should head out. You ready, Chloe?
I am. Haruka, will you be okay?
Yes, thank you again for coming all this way. Both of you, actually. Next time I think I'll visit you.
I'd like that. Wait, where's Momo?
She's fine. She'll be back in a short bit.
Sayonara, Fujo-kun. Ian no soku no naka de heya no mitsuke raremasu, Yoni. Special thanks to our museum volunteers Maria Miller, AAD, Ocean Federation, Zero Smith, Jeremiah Fenley, Mr. Wolf Doggy, King of Knights 719 Skyper, Hagar 2424, William Linz, Big J, The Random Texas Gamer, Ohio Trucker 1, TBG Maddie, Kiwi Warrior, Scouthinter, Philip Boatwright, Johnny LePretre, Ambulance 991, Snake Man 129, Downbeat 83, Matthew W., Mr. Creeper 1103, and Walter Romrio. Remember, you can support the show in this way by becoming a member on the YouTube channel.